Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? It is Wednesday, March 16th. I have gotten a haircut. My wife said I was looking a little scraggly, so here I am. I feel like Samson without his hair. But anyway, I mean, I never did have a lot of hair, but this is not great. So anyway, how are you? How are you? It is the 17th consecutive live stream. 17 consecutive. That's 2 weeks and a couple days by my math, which is not the best. And we all know that. Oh, going to be an odd show. Plenty to discuss. I'm not worried about the content. It's just, I don't know about, what I'm going to add, how it's all going to fit together. But some of you may not know who I am. I've gotten to that point where it's like, if you're watching one of my videos, you're like, who's this guy? Who's this guy talking to me about real estate stuff? Like what? And then other things like, who is this? Well, my name is John Schenk, and I am the founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty, which is a small, super small real estate brokerage in St. Louis, Missouri, South County, Afton to be specific. I do that, and then I commentate on YouTube, real estate stuff that I see that can't possibly be real because I'm living it. Like I'm living the real estate life, and I read about other real estate life, like people that are, reporters and things of that nature. And they say things and they write things that are just patently not true or haven't been my experience. And so I like to talk about them. And then I like to just find interesting things to talk about. Am I a YouTuber? I wouldn't really say that. It's not a slight. I don't really have any real following. So, I mean, if you want to jump in on the ground floor of a YouTuber and as I go along, well, you're here. I mean, it doesn't get any lower than this. I mean, we live stream to no one. So anyway, that's who I am. I'm going to work on that. It didn't seem like the most uplifting introduction, but I try. So I think the best news to start is that Uncivil Law got his channel back last night. He's live streaming this morning. There's 384 people watching him live stream. There's one person watching me. I don't know. Well, it'd be nice to have some people in the chat just to, go through it. I've wanted to start the other chat at night, but man, I worked till 8:30 last night, and I want to start the chat at 9, and at 8:30 I was just beat. I was tired. But I've got all kinds of content coming. Like I've been practicing. So, I want to do it. But I have so much to do every day. And then I actually have my real estate brokerage to work on. And so here's what's going on right now. I will get up. I will work on my live stream. I will work on my podcast. I will work on marketing the brokerage in other ways. I will do paperwork and do the real estate business, set showings, talk to clients, do all that kind of stuff. And usually in the day, if I'm lucky now, I get time to do one thing, like one special project, I would call it. That's right. My whole day, if I get lucky, I can have a special project where I can do one thing that has been bothering me. Let me tell you my special projects yesterday, because I think it's strange. One of my special projects yesterday, I have a bookkeeping service that I'm very bad at sending in the statements for. So I hadn't sent any statements in since October, or actually since August of last year. So they were kind of like, we need those statements to put together the books for the year so that you can file your taxes. So I did that. Now, I had wanted to do that since February. I just hadn't gotten to it till yesterday. The other thing I did, the other special project, I buried a bird in the backyard. Yes, a pet bird. And I want to go over it with you. And I need to stop saying that because it's not like you have a choice. I need better transitions. So the youngest has a bird, 2 birds. When she was a little kid, like real little, she's like, I'd like some birds. And Nisa said, my wife, she said, I had a bird. And I said, okay, well, that sounds like I never had any birds. So I figured, why not? My friend's mom had a bird, but we never had any birds. So why not? So we get these birds. And within a month, the daughter says, I don't want these birds in my room. They're noisy, they're smelly, and they're dirty. So that pretty much ended her interest in the birds. And so for the next, I guess maybe, gosh, she was a youngster. So it's been a couple years. Birds have been out in the dining room. And my wife has Zoom meetings. I've had phone calls where people just are like, are there birds in the background? They're annoying. And they're cute though. They're beautiful birds. Well, the one was getting sick. And you say, well, do you know? Well, I was watching the bird and it was just like, it was doing things it didn't used to do. Like it would turn its head around and then just try to sleep all day. And then the other bird would like pick at it and it would just be like, stop picking on me, please. Like it wouldn't fight back. And then, so I was doing a live stream last week. Yeah. Figure out this timing. Doing a live stream last week and I walked upstairs after the live stream was over and I needed to get dressed because I was going to a lunch. I don't know if I told this story, but I'm getting ready to go to a lunch and I need to take a shower and I walk by the bird cage and I don't see one of the birds. It's like, well, where did the bird fly away? And it was the sick bird I didn't see. And I was like, so then I look at the cage and the little bird's like laying there and it's not moving. I'm like, oh shoot, we got a dead bird. Now the child had been home that day from school, which I don't agree with. I hate when the kids stay home from school, but that's what they're taught now. If they got a headache, if anything's wrong in any way, they just need to stay home. So she was at home and she was now she spends, I'd say pretty much 90% of her time in her room. So, I mean, she likes it there. She doesn't like to be around us. Anyway, I was like, I've got to get going. And now I've got this bird. My wife was at a conference in Memphis, actually Nashville. I'm sorry. And I texted her. I said, the bird's dead. What do I do? Because my wife is very good at things. I was just going to take the bird and throw it away. That was just what I was going to do. So anyway, she's like, oh no, put it in a box and we'll tell her about it, tonight. And so I did that. And when I went to grab the bird, like I'm not big on grabbing dead animals. Does that make me weird? I don't really like the whole situation, but I found a little box and my wife said, well, put a paper towel in there. So I put a paper towel in there. I thought she wanted to be like, like a little bedding for the bird, but apparently it was just to cover the bird. I didn't know that until later. I went to get the bird and the bird's feet were still around the cage wire. And so when I went to pull the bird wouldn't come off the cage. It was stuck. So I kept pulling and I was like, please don't leave a foot or anything stuck on the wire. Can this just be over with? So I finally got it and we put it in the box and we put the box in a spot. And then that night I went, my wife's like, she was coming home, I believe. And she said, we can tell her. So we said, hey, did you notice that your bird's dead? And she's like, I don't care. And we're like, wow. And then she went to grab the dead bird. I thought that was weird, but whatever. So we left the bird in the garage. And it's been cool enough that, keep it on ice. But I told my wife, I was like, look, we got to get this, we got to be done with this bird. Now, luckily we have a stupid dog at the house, like a big old German Shepherd. So if I put the bird in the backyard, the dog's just going to dig it up and eat it. It's gross. So instead of that, I had to figure out a place where so I don't even want to do this, right? I don't want to be involved in this. I feel like I'm getting stuck doing something that's got nothing to do with me. I'm somehow stuck with bird removal. So I took the bird, and we have a fence around some bushes because the dog kills the bushes. So then we put no one helped me. I had to dig a hole for the bird, put the bird in the backyard. He's there. We didn't have a service. Everyone would say we're supposed to have a service and all this other stuff. We didn't have a service or anything. No one even cared. And I just wanted to get this bird out of the garage because it was going to stink up the garage. I don't know if that, so it was terrible. So my two understand that special projects for my days, not great, not exciting, and not fun most of the time. Bird removal and tax preparation. Those were my special projects yesterday. So, how are you? I asked that a little earlier, but I think it's important to interact with the chat. Now, it's kind of hard to interact with something that's not there. You see, you may say, well, John, I would be in your chat. I would chat with you more often if you would open up the chat to everyone instead of making people subscribe. And I'm telling you, I used to have it open and all I got was Russian spam. Like those people were not watching. They were literally just spamming me. So I stopped that. Now you can spam me now. You just have to wait for 5 minutes the first time. Now, would I like you to be a subscriber? Yes, I'm at 5 subscribers. I've had the channel now for almost a month. And you say, well, John, Mr. Beast was on Joe Rogan and he's been doing it since he was 11, or maybe he's been doing it 11 years or something. I don't know. Anyway, yes. Part of this I found is that you just keep doing it. Like that's a key component of this. Weird. Like on my main channel now, I get views every day. Not me. And I don't get a lot of subscribers. I don't know. Maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'm at my apex. Maybe it doesn't get any better than this. I don't know. I'm enjoying it though, for some odd reason. I just feel like there's not enough, real estate agent from South County opinion out there. Like, where do I go? Where do I go when I seek opinion? Because there's only one me. I have some things I'd love to tell you, but I can't tell you because I don't want to, hurt my client relationship. But weird things it's hard to be an agent. I was telling you yesterday about how when we lost on that deal, it's still today. What is it? What is today? Wednesday, did I say? I have my days screwed up. I'll tell you why. I had somebody ask about a showing on a house, and the listing said showing start today. Went to schedule the showing, and they blocked off Wednesday. And so I ended up scheduling on a Thursday when I was supposed to schedule it for a Wednesday. And then now Thursday is St. Patrick's Day. I was supposed to go somewhere, but now I can't go anywhere because I have a showing. And I feel like it'll resolve itself because most people aren't going to want to go on St. Patrick's Day to see houses. But it may not. It's really hard to tell at this point. I don't know. I don't know about much. Today is not, we're not getting the most exciting and happy, John. Some of the things that I've been doing that have been a little different in the past day or so. Well, I set up the clips channel, but I'm taking those clips now and I'm putting them on YouTube and I'm putting them on TikTok. So the first day on TikTok, I got 1,500 views of this TikTok that I did. The second one, I was a little worried because it was like different aspect ratio. I don't know where I'm at now. Let's see. I mean, this is the joy of live streaming. Like, this is not being recorded. Well, it's being recorded. Let's see how many. So I had, now if you've watched TikTok, you know that I'm not really TikTok material. Oh, okay. So I had 1,400 views yesterday, and today I have 155 on the one I did, which isn't bad. It's actually kind of in line with what I normally get. My worst one ever was 17. So I easily beat that. And my best one was yesterday's. Now, do I think that they mess with the stuff so that you do well every once in a while, so that you stay with the platform like a drug? Yes, I have no doubt. I hadn't posted anything for like 3 months or 4 months on TikTok. So they had every motivation to make it a good video so that I would want to come back to the platform and again get views of 100 or less or 200 or less. Now, TikTok still treats me better than YouTube on the shorts. So far on the shorts, I have 4 views on one of my shorts, and I think I have 2 views on the other one. They say like, oh, well, it takes a couple days for it to go viral, for it to get in its algorithm. You know what? I think on my main channel, I have a short that has 16 views. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know I'm doing something wrong. But I was reading somewhere you need to get your content out so people know that you exist. It has to be on different platforms. You have to tweet it. You have to put it all out on these social media places. Now, doing all that and running the brokerage is hard. And I have all these other things I want to be doing. So, I don't know. Do you want to just get into some articles today? I mean, maybe that's why you're here. I guess we'll do it. You know, why not? So let's get to this. Oh, I messed it up. There we go. Okay. I mean, here we go. What is going on there? Okay. You ready? Here we go. It says convicted swindler and fake heiress Anna Sorokin fighting deportation from the U.S. What's this about? So I saw this thing on Netflix. There was this Chasing Anna or something, or I didn't pay attention to it because I'm not hip to this. So this is the first time I'm reading it. So she looks happy. She looks like a nice person. It says, out of New York, it says fake heiress Anna Delvey Sorokin, if that's how it goes, remains in custody in the United States. U.S. immigration authorities said Tuesday, despite reports she was about to be deported to Germany. It says Sorokin, who was jailed in 2019 for scamming hundreds of thousands of dollars from hotels, banks, and friends, who inspired a hit series on Netflix, remains in ICE custody pending removal. There were reports on Monday that Sorokin, who carried her scams under the assumed name of Anna Delvey, was about to be extradited to Germany on a Frankfurt-bound flight. So this woman here is allowed to be deported, but not other people. Says her lawyer, so she's got a lawyer, that's good, who didn't respond to requests for comment from the AFP, told the Associated Press he filed papers Monday seeking to delay the deportation. He confirmed to the British tabloid The Daily Mail that he filed an emergency appeal late Monday to stop a deportation order dated February 17th and valid for 30 days to postpone it for another month. Now, why is she being deported? What good would that do? What's going on here? It says, in addition, I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's Aurora confirmed a report by the New York Post on Monday that Sorokin had left the ICE detention center in Goshen, north of New York City, where she had been detained for a year to board the flight to Frankfurt. But a spokesman for the police at Frankfurt Airport said Sorokin hadn't arrived there as of Tuesday afternoon, and U.S. immigration authorities said she had never left her detention facility. Aurora also told the AP she was still there. Amid all the confusion, Sorokin was due to appear on Wednesday on the Spotify podcast Call Her Daddy, which focuses on sex and relationships. Spotify said the interview had been pre-recorded by host Alexander Kupra from Sorokin's detention facility. Now, let me understand this. You can be detained by ICE, okay, and be on a podcast. In the podcast, she denied she was a fraudster, saying, "I'm like a performer," according to the Daily Mail. The 31-year-old Russian-German citizen managed in 2016 and 2017 to deceive New York's elites by posing as a wealthy heiress, when in fact she was the daughter of a truck driver originally from the suburbs of Moscow. Now, are we getting rid of her because she's Russian? Is that what are we? I just don't know. It says Sorokin was sentenced to between 4 and 12 years in prison, but was released in February 2021 for good behavior, only to be arrested again the next month for overstaying her visa. Now, let me understand this. Scammed hundreds of thousands of dollars from people, was sentenced to between 4 and 12 years in prison, was released for good behavior in February of 2021. And then she overstayed her visa. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? It says, capable of weaving skillful lies with extraordinary aplomb, the young woman posed as a German heiress with a fortune of $60 million, allowed her to obtain tens of thousands of dollars in loans from several banks. It says between 2016 and August 2017, she traveled for free by private jet and lived on credit in Manhattan hotels without ever paying a cent, according to New York prosecutors, who estimated her frauds totaled around $275,000. Sorokin, who first arrived in New York in 2013, had even tried to obtain a $22 million loan to launch a select club in Manhattan. Her incredible story resulted in television producer Shonda Rhimes making it into a miniseries on Netflix, Inventing Anna, with Julia Garner in the title role. According to media reports, she received $320,000 from the streaming giant. So what in the world? What in the world do we make of this? She gets rewarded every time she lies. She doesn't have to serve that much time in prison for it. What's to keep people from doing this all the time? And then you look at the government, and then your answer is right there. Those people lie all the time. They lie all the time. And they don't, in fact, they don't go to prison. It's a pretty good deal. Anyway, that was kind of something. I forgot how many searches there were. 100,000 searches. That's pretty good. Really, I mean, who would have thought? Okay. All right. So then there's this story here. This has got 1 million views. Now, I don't know. I wanted to look at this story because, I'm doing bad with daylight savings time. Like the last 3 nights, I wake up at like 2 in the morning and I'm confused and disoriented. Now, normally I wake up at 1 in the morning and I'm confused and disoriented. So this is totally different for me. And it's tough. It's tough. I don't understand why we're doing this. Like, it doesn't seem healthy to me. But this headline leads me to believe that I'm wrong or something. So let's take a look. It says the Senate wants to make daylight saving times permanent, but that could leave Americans with less sleep and worse health. Now, if you're telling me, no offense, if you're telling me that my health is going to be worse because we don't change the time twice a year, I'm going to call bullshit on that. At 9:24 in the morning, I'm not into it. Because I'm living it right now and it's not good for my health. Okay? I don't really care what the studies would say. Now, I don't think that's what they're saying. So that's fascinating. Let's get to it. It says, on Tuesday, the U.S. Senate voted unanimously to make daylight savings time permanent from 2023, getting rid of the biannual ritual of Americans changing their clocks back or forth by an hour. Okay. So let's start off with this. The U.S. Senate, a bastion of terrible, a cauldron of crap, voted unanimously on something. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. Now, we don't know why they voted this way. Because, like, if you look at the next paragraph, it says this: the House still needs to pass the so-called Sunshine Protection Act, which is a stupid name, and they need to stop with it. But if it succeeds, the time Americans live on during the summer, 4 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time, would now be the standard time across the U.S. year-round. That means later sunrises and sunsets. Well, I'm okay with that. Okay. Now, did all these people vote because the House is never going to take it up? Yet, sleep scientists argue the choice of daylight savings time over standard time, in other words, choosing the spring forward rather than the fall back time, would leave Americans permanently out of sync with their natural schedule and potentially lead to a range of health issues. So let me get this straight. I've been dealing with this stupid time change my entire life, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks. Okay. And then you're going to stop that finally. I know this sounds bad. Just pick a time and I'll deal with it. Okay. Just pick one and go with it. But no. Now there's experts, sleep scientists, which, great. Say, well, you picked the wrong one. You should have picked the other one. You had two choices and you chose wrong. So I don't know. Do we trust the experts? I mean, they're always so right about everything in our lives. I mean, let me tell you, without experts, I don't know how I've made it this far. Seriously. So, all I know is this. When I try to show a house in the winter and it's 4:30 and it's pitch black, my buyers don't really get to see the backyard or the front yard. You say, John, don't go show houses at 4:30 in the afternoon. Well, when do the people get off of work? Okay. When do the majority of people get off work? They don't get off work, at noon. So anyway, I'm confused. And this idea, leave Americans permanently out of sync. I'm permanently out of sync. And it's because of many factors, but I do think the daylight savings time is not helpful. So it says, here's the question. Here's the answer to a question that I've wondered my entire life. Why do we have daylight savings time? Why? Who came up with this? And they should be fired. It says, first applied consistently across the U.S. in 1966. Daylight savings time is an idea whose time may have passed. Yeah. And just like everything else, whenever you put in a law, it never goes away. Never. It says originally, daylight savings was meant to reduce energy consumption by setting the clocks forward, thus extending the hours of daylight further into the evening. With more sunlight, people require less electricity for artificial lighting. However, research suggests that the changing ways we consume energy means daylight savings time no longer saves enough electricity to be meaningful. So you want to talk about environmentalism, right? You want to talk about climate change. And you want to say, people back in the day didn't care. No, they did. In fact, we have daylight savings time because of it. What other terrible things are we going to get because of green energy policies? In fact, one 2008 study found that moving clocks forward actually increased electricity consumption as people started using more power-hungry appliances like air conditioning later into the evening. So you're telling me that the experts in 1966 were wrong? Experts being wrong? How can that be? How can that be? The U.S. population has also trended south in recent decades. Wonder why? With population growth in states like Arizona, Texas, and Florida significantly outstripping their northern counterparts. Southern states see a smaller seasonal difference in daylight hours, which reduces the need to save daylight. For example, northern Lee, Detroit, Michigan gets over 15 hours of sunlight in the summer and only 9 hours in the winter. Southernly, Austin, Texas gets 14 hours of daylight in the summer and 10 hours in the winter. It says, should we stop changing our clocks? Yes. Yes, this has been true for a long time. It says, so, I mean, that I don't even need an expert to tell me that this is stupid. Some researchers blame the switch between standard and daylight savings time for a number of social ills, including lost productivity and increased health stress as people's bodies adjust to the time change. One study found a small but significant increase in road accidents on Monday after the switch to summertime, as the lost hour of sleep affected people's driving ability. Other studies found the rate of workplace injuries and even heart attacks tends to increase shortly after the U.S. springs forward. Retailers also support a switch to permanent daylight savings time. A 2017 report from J.P. Morgan Chase found that shoppers spent 3.5% less in stores in the month immediately following the fallback switch to standard time, as earlier sunsets encouraged people to go home rather than shop. Now, this was in 2017. We did have the internet. We did have Amazon. How many people are really doing this? Is that true? It says, but perhaps most importantly, Americans generally hate changing the time of their clocks. A 2019 poll in 7 in 10 Americans would prefer leaving their clocks alone. Look, anybody that wants to fight for daylight savings time, I hate you. I hate you. I don't want to change my clock. Okay? And just as something that I saw on Twitter, I believe yesterday, the United States government can't even figure out how to use a clock. Can't even figure that out. Had to go and screw that up. And you think that they're going to take care of healthcare. You think they're going to take care of foreign policy or foreign intervention. You think they're going to take care of you. They can't even work a clock. Seriously. Is daylight savings time bad? Well, in their fight to protect sunshine, the U.S. Senate had the choice of making either standard time or daylight savings time permanent. The Senate chose to keep daylight saving, but that might prove to be the worst of the two choices with potentially worse health outcomes. Now, it wouldn't be a shocker to figure out that even when presented with the opportunity to do the right thing, the Senate would do the wrong thing. I mean, this is the federal government after all. Many sleep scientists support standard time over daylight time. But you know what? I don't really trust the scientists. They've never really kind of gone off and done anything good either. So, whatever. As the latter more closely aligns with the natural day and thus our natural body clocks. Adopting daylight savings time as standard leaves us permanently out of sync with the natural environment, says Joseph Takahashi of the University of South Texas to the New York Times. I want to know how that conversation went. I want to know if it went something like this. The reporter from the New York Times says, "Hey, Joseph, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican?" And Joseph says, "Now, I don't know what, I understand. I don't know what Joseph is, but if Joseph says, 'Hey, I'm a Democrat,' and they say, 'Well, good. Republicans want to make daylight savings time permanent.'" And then he's like, "Oh, no. It has to be the other way. And here's all the reasons why." I'm just saying, that's how much I trust the New York Times. They're a terrible, I don't even know. They're not in a newspaper. Fake newspaper, maybe. But anyway, scientists are also concerned that forcing people to wake up earlier and fall asleep later than their natural body clocks may may worsen sleep deprivation, which is linked to increased rates of obesity, diabetes, dementia, and other health issues. Studies found that people working night shifts, forced to work at times that are out of sync with their natural sleep schedule, have higher rates of heart disease and cancer than those who work daytime hours. Now, let me try and get this to where it needs to be. The U.S. Senate has voted to make a change, which I think is for the better, meaning they're going to pick a time and go with it. Okay. And it was unanimous in the Senate. And you're going to tell me that that wasn't good enough, that they picked the wrong time. Like literally, you're complaining that they picked the wrong time. Let's just go ahead and stick with one time. And then down the road, we can change it. Then we can just stay with like, oh, well, hey, this is a great idea, just staying on the same time. But what we really need to do is move it one hour earlier. That would be fine. That would be fine. I would go with that. Why didn't we do this sooner? That's a good question. This is from Fortune magazine. I think I read something from Fortune yesterday. Very, very good article. U.S. has actually tried to make daylight savings time permanent once before. U.S. tried a permanent switch to daylight savings time in 1974 to save energy during the oil embargo by the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries. I guess OPEC isn't, I mean, they just really wanted to write it out today. But after complaints from parents about schools starting in the dark and a spate of well-publicized road accidents involving children, the U.S. abandoned the practice by 1974. So let me get this straight. They've actually tried this, and parents were upset about schools starting in the dark. I went to school in the dark, and it didn't bother me a bit. I don't care. I mean, of all the things you're worried about your kids learning at school or being indoctrinated to, you're worried about this? Seriously? Have you seen what's going on in public schools? Sleep deprivation is already endemic among adolescents due to teenagers having to wake up early to go to school. Teenagers have a naturally later sleep cycle than children and adults, which means they should wake up later in the day to stay in sync with their body clocks. Okay. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, who co-sponsored the Protecting Sunshine Act, suggested that school should start later in response to concerns that students would be going to school in the dark. We start school in this country at the worst possible time for adolescents. Okay, well, you know, if that's what you want to go with, if that's it, okay, that's where you're going. You say, we're going to start school later for adolescents. I don't care. Good luck with the teachers union. Good luck. They want to be gone by like 2 in the afternoon. So this is, it's like, here we're going to fix a problem, but we can't fix the problem. We got to heap all this other crap on top of it. Just fix the problem. Do something, right? Just make a decision, go with it, and then if we need to change it, that's okay. Nothing is forever. You think people in 1966 who started this crap, you think they thought, oh well, this will be policy until 2022? No, most of those people are dead. No offense. Just be done with it. Do you really want to know my opinion on it? You know, I'm not good at poker, just for that reason. All right, let's get into some luxury real estate. We're doing well. Gilbert, Arizona. I don't know where Gilbert, Arizona is, and I'm not looking. It's in Arizona. Good enough. We got 3 listings that look pretty good. We got HomeSmart has one. Arizona Seville Realty, LLC, has another one. And Hague Partners has the third. $3.8 million, 6 bedrooms, 8 baths, 8,956 square feet on a 0.46 acre lot. 80 pictures is too many for me. 146 days on the market. Built in 2013, 7-car garage. Property details, not too much. Let's just see. It says a breathtaking, one-of-a-kind home. Professionally designed by architect Sean Roberts and built by Jason Check. Drive down the lower level air conditioning 5-car garage with parking turntable, plus a 2-car garage upstairs. Main floor has an office den, a children's playroom off the second en suite bedroom. Living room, great room, formal dining room, high-end appliances, and double washer dryers. Basement boasts, I love when things are being boastful, 2 more bedrooms, a panic room, and a shooting range, glass pocket doors, workout room, yoga dance studio, which can be made into extra bedrooms, and FS, I guess a freestanding, I'm going to go with washer dryer. Home theater with 90-inch television. I have a 90-inch television. Mine in my house isn't $2.8 million. Glass waterfall in the lower level patio. Backyard is an entertainer's delight, featuring a stunning pool and a fountain design. Barbecue area, life-size chessboard and putting green. See the supplement. They're probably not going to warranty the pieces on the lifetime chessboard. Listing, not good. Well, 10 of 2021. Okay, but people have been wanting to move out of that house for a while. So here we go. It's nice, right? It towers over the other houses. So far I'm happy. This is exactly how I would do a listing. You do the front yard and then you go in through the front door. You do it as if you're walking through the house. Look at that. Those chairs are ugly. I don't care what you say. That looks stupid. It got weird all of a sudden, didn't it? Right when we went in. I mean, that, wow. What is this circle thing? That's a mirror? Why would you put a mirror above that? These are people that don't cook. I don't even know what that is. I don't like this house at all. I mean, it's just not for me. I mean, seriously. I don't like this house at all. It's not even that it's like a contemporary house. It's just terrible. I'm not doing it. No. $3.8 million. You can keep it. Let's go with $2.8 million. Let's see if that's any better. Because that was terrible. $2.8 million, 45 pictures, 6 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, 6,373 square feet on a 1 acre lot, 4-car garage, built in 2007. Country club and country living at this stunning, sprawling 6,373 square feet of fully remodeled estate over 1 acre. Home feels like brand new construction following its recent total professional remodel. Every detail has been thought out. Enormous garages, backyard is a resort with brand new pool and spa, all travertine decking, enormous covered patio space, poolside outdoor living room with waterfall and fire features, covered garden, sunken trampoline. I don't know what that is. Tons of storage on the side yard and plenty of room in the yard for toys, playgrounds, field for sports, more garages, etc. The setup of this home on this lot is so hard to come by, and just steps from Seville Country's club's walking trail and sidewalk to restaurants. This custom estate is true sanctuary. Schedule your private tour today. Okay, well, let's see how the history. Okay, it was listed in 2022. And it was removed. I'm sorry, it was removed in February. January, February. It was listed. It was removed in March. And then now it's been relisted for $400,000 more than it was listed for earlier. All right. That's a nice view, right? That's nice. No argument. Kitchen's a little interesting. I don't know. What I would say, honestly, is that the current styling in Gilbert, Arizona does not agree with me based on the 2 most expensive listed homes currently in the marketplace. I mean, I just don't like this. Is it because of daylight savings time? Because this is not enjoyable for me. I wouldn't. I mean, it looks like a house in Baldwin. What is this? Okay, so that's a no. One more, 2.5 million, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 4,000 square feet on a 2.3 acre lot. All right. All right. I can close that because we're not going back to it. 43 pictures, 13-car garage, which I love. Oh, not good. Not good. Listed February 26th. So it says, are you looking for a one-of-a-kind estate? I don't know. Is it going to be quirky? Because no, I don't want quirky and fun. I want something that makes sense. Do you want room to play, build, and expand? I don't know. You will not want to miss this stunning property located in Gilbert, Arizona. 85298 to be specific. This property is so well cared for by the original owners, you will think it's brand new. Here are just a few of the items we know you'll love. 2.39 acres, 4-car garage, RV garage, workshop, no HOA, over 100 square foot backyard oasis, and so much more. It doesn't make any sense. This stunning place is only minutes from the best hotspots such as Gilbert Regional Park, downtown Gilbert, and San Tan Village Mall. You will have anything and everything you have ever dreamed of at your fingertips This home is conveniently located in the Chandler School District. In addition, you have access to the freeway. Well, freeway access is important, right? Right? I mean, there it is. There it is. It's all walled off. I mean, just from what I'm seeing, this is the best house for me. I mean, I love that. I want one of those in my own backyard. And it's not that my wife won't let me have it. She will. It's just I don't have any money to build it. It's cool. I like that. I like that place a lot. Let's get into some articles. Just want to check the chat. Every once in a while, I need to check the chat. Very important. Very important as a host of a live stream to make sure that the people that are wanting to chat with you can chat. Okay. My email's out of control. Let's get into some articles. I thought this was an interesting one. It says, don't prejudge yourself. I said, well, what is that about? What is that about? What am I prejudging? Okay, so it says, I recall several years ago, a young woman came to my office wanting to know how she could get qualified for a home loan. I then began to go through the pre-qualification process, just like I'd done countless times before. I asked about her job, what she did, how long she had worked there, and so on. I then asked about her income, whether she got paid a salary, and if so, when she got paid, such as the 1st and the 15th of the month. After all the income information was presented, I then began asking about her bank accounts to be used for a down payment and closing costs. As far as clothing costs, I then prepared an initial loan estimate for her to review and take home. She said she had enough money needed, and if she was short, her parents said they would help her out with any shortfall. I then gave her a list of documents needed to proceed with the loan pre-approval. I calculated monthly payments for her based on the traditional 30-year note and included a monthly allotment for property taxes, insurance, standard procedure when calculating debt-to-income ratios. She was happy with the qualifying amount and felt comfortable with the monthly payments. We began to complete an initial loan application, and during that time, she told me she probably wouldn't be able to qualify right now due to her credit. I inquired further, and she explained that she paid her rent on the 1st of the month but didn't pay her credit card. She had 2 of them until the 15th of the month. I didn't see anything wrong with that, but I suggested we pull an initial credit report to see exactly what she was talking about. In those days, a credit report didn't arrive within moments of the initial request. Depending on how busy the credit agency was, there was a wait. Not long, but a wait nonetheless. So we sat there and chatted for a while and also looked at other loan options she could qualify for. Soon the credit report came over the fax machine. So we're talking the 80s, maybe early 90s. I retrieved the report and returned to my desk. I looked at the report. The report was essentially clean. The 2 credit card accounts showed up, and while there were outstanding balances, those balances weren't all that troubling. Further, there were no late payments showing up on the report. She had excellent credit. She just didn't know it. You see, her credit card statement always showed the due date was on the 1st of the month. But since her paycheck on the 1st went toward the rent, she paid toward the paycheck that arrived on the 15th. When I initially ordered the report based upon what she had already told me, I was expecting some late payments to show up, but there were none. I then proceeded to type up a pre-qualification letter to take with her. She was, however, a bit confused. How could she get a pre-qualification letter this soon when her credit needed some time to repair? I explained how credit accounts report to the credit bureaus only in 30-day increments. If she paid an account on the 15th, there would be no negative reporting. Only payments made more than 30, 60, 90 days late would show up. I showed her the credit report and explained this to her. She was somewhat shocked to begin to realize she could have bought a home much sooner than she had thought. With her pre-qualification letter in hand, she walked out of my office to buy her very first home. Well, that's a very interesting story. It's a story, you see. Don't prejudge yourself. Now, I will tell you how it relates to the way I look at this type of thing. I agree. Do not prejudge yourself. But don't be surprised if things come up on your credit report that are terrible. Okay, so let's say someone calls me and says, John, I'm ready to go buy a house. I say, oh, are you? Yeah, I think I am. Okay. Well, let's go get a pre-approval letter and see what we can buy, because I have no idea. And you have no idea. So that's not prejudging. That's just the way it is. So they go and they talk to a mortgage expert, and I get a report back. It's like, this is not going to work. Or, yeah, they could buy this. Okay. Now we can go and buy a house. Sometimes people want to tell me like, hey, I didn't do well I had a divorce and my husband spent all the money. Hey, I had a divorce. My wife spent all the money and our lawyer was expensive. I got no money. Okay. Well, let's just go see let's go apply and see what they say. The worst that happens is they say, no. That's the worst that happens. No, we can't provide credit this time. I mean, the best is obviously we can afford this much. It's turning an unknown into a known. And that's what I always try to do with my real estate strategy. Take unknowns and turn them into knowns. Why would you go start looking for houses when you don't know what you can afford, or if you can afford? It seems like a reasonable thing to me. Like, it seems like you'd want to do that. And then it's like, well, are there any homes that meet your criteria in your price range? Well, I don't know. Well, let's go look. And then we'll take a unknown and we'll turn it into a known. And that's what I do the entire process. I mean, yeah, don't prejudge yourself, though. I've had people say, I won't qualify for a mortgage, and then they won't apply. I say, you should always apply. Let's figure out, let's get a ground floor, a base setting, and then we should figure things out. So that's what I think about that article. I agree. Don't prejudge yourself. Also, don't date yourself by putting stories with fax machines in it. I'm just saying. Okay. Pending home sales decreased 5.7% in January. That's terrible. But what does that really mean? Now, this is going to be an article it's a press release, so it's not really great. Key highlights: contract signings were 5.7% lower in January from the prior month. Month over month, contract signings were down across all regions except the West. Contract signings fell across all regions from a year ago. So should we be worried? No. Why? I was in the market in January. There was nothing to buy. The inventory was just nothing. So what are they going to say? I lived it. It says pending home sales slumped in January, continuing what is now a 3-month drop in transactions. The National Association of Realtors reported of the 4 major U.S. regions, only the West registered an increase in month-over-month contract activity. All 4 regions posted a decline in year-over-year activity. If it was so bad, then why were there 9 offers on the house that I wanted to buy for my buyers? And why were there 17 offers on the house my other agent, Jan, wanted to have her clients buy this weekend? Pending home sales index, a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signings, fell 5.7% to 109.5% in January, or 109.5 in January. Year-over-year transactions decreased by 9.5%. An index of 100 is equal to the level of contract activity in 2001. That's kind of strange that they chose 2001, but whatever. With inventory at an all-time low, buyers are still having a difficult time finding a home. Well, absolutely, Lawrence. Got that one figured out. Along persistent supply constraints, Yoon said house hunters are contending with a number of additional market issues, including escalating home prices and rising interest rates. Rates jumped by nearly a percentage point in January from December, further adding to the monthly mortgage costs. Given the situation in the market, mortgages, home costs, and inventory, it would not be surprising to see a retreat in housing demand. Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd make it a lot easier for me. I've got like 10 buyers that would like to buy a house tomorrow if we could actually get one under contract. It'd be good for my wallet. National Association of Realtors expects economic conditions to be volatile in the coming months. The impending conclusion of the Federal Reserve's asset purchase program in March paves the way for higher interest rates. Russia's aggression in Ukraine is also likely to affect the global oil supply, imposing further burdens on inflation and bringing about more aggressive rate hikes. There's also the possibility that investors may flee towards safer U.S. Treasury bonds, which may result in temporary short-term relief to interest rates. Realtor.com's hottest housing markets data in January showed that of the largest 40 metros, the most improved markets over the past year, I don't care about that. And I'm not interested in this. That's not enjoyable. So I'm going to cut it short there. We're going to the base no frame. Market's still stupid hot. Okay. If you're a buyer, you're going to have to wait. And if you do buy a house, if you're successful with your offer on a weekend, good for you. Seriously, good for you. I mean, I have a hard time with people just buying a house based on nothing. No comparable sales, just coming up with some stupid number and going with it, and then saying that their agent's brilliant. So it's frustrating. I don't wish it on anyone. I've always felt that housing markets, it's been strong for a long time. So, that's where I'm at. I remember 2 years ago, a couple said to me, we're going to take some time off because it's so hard to get a house. And then sure enough, we went and looked at one last house and they fell in love with it. And we put an offer and we happened to win it. And that's just the way it goes. And even now, like this couple where we lost the house this weekend, there's other houses available coming up this weekend. Let's go look and put an offer on these houses. You say, well, that's not good. Let the people buy a house. If it goes down in value, like they know what they're doing in the sense that they know, like, hey, the housing value may go down in the future. And like, I know this sounds weird, but if you own a house and you have equity in the house and you see another house that's better, you may go buy a better house in the future. You may pay a little bit to get out of your deal so that you can go buy a house somewhere else. A better house. I think that's what happened a lot in this particular situation. Let's just say an average family was in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that was 1,000 square feet. Interest rates and they'd been in there since the 2000s, since 2007, 2008. They finally had equity in their home and they said, you know what? This virus is bad. Let's move out to the country. We can get 2,000 square feet for the same price. Let's do it. Let's get out of here. And that happened all over the place. That was in addition to, everybody graduating, everybody getting a job, everybody, the normal life cycle in the United States. Every year when college graduates graduate, you have, you're not likely to get a job that first couple months because everybody else is fighting to get a job. Then pretty much all those positions get filled and then it starts all over again for the next year. So my own thought on January's prices or January's transactions being down. Yes, but nothing. It's not. The world isn't on fire. Well, depending on what you're looking at, the housing market's. Is it strong? I don't know, because I think this is going to leave a terrible taste in people's mouths if it goes south. I think they'll be like, I remember 2007, 2009 time, and there's a lot of people that were irritated by that, but a lot of people took advantage of it too. So is that what you're supposed to do in a crisis, is take advantage of the situation? That's what people do. I don't know. So yeah, what's going on today? Set some showings for the weekend. Special project today is hopefully nothing. I'd like to quit work like by 8. That'd be really nice tonight if I could do that. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, I got all these things to do, and it's just the revenue is just not where it needs to be. So, we've gotten through another Livestream. It's been fun. You say, well, you're killing time till you get to an hour. Yeah, I like to go over an hour. And I like to have people in the chat, but we're just not doing very well with that. So if we could do a little better, that'd be good. Thank you for watching. I will catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. It'll be St. Patrick's Day. Will it be a special one? Will I paint my hair green? Well, you know I don't have that much hair, so that's not going to work. Will I wear green because it's St. Patrick's Day? I don't know. I might. It's awful forward of me. Awful showy.